Vanguard!
Hey Cardfighters, today we've got a little bit different video than usual as I want to talk about the changes that are happening to the channel in the upcoming weeks and months. So you might recall a video that I did last month where I talked about the changes to the deck profiles as they were transitioned into deck Spotlight. And you can see this video as a part 2 to that video, as we're going to build onto that video with those specific spotlights as well as all other video topics that are happening on the channel. So as you might have noticed in the last couple of weeks, we've been pumping out a lot of videos concerning the set reviews, deck spotlights, and focusing on all the different sets that have been entering the OCG as well as the TCG. And we finally caught up as we're entering Ariel Steed Liberation on the channel. So with that, I think it's the right timing and the right moment to start incorporating all new changes to the channel as regarding video topics, video styles, and all that kind of different post-productions and visuals for all you guys to enjoy the videos on the best possible level. And that's what this video is about, as I want to explain what all these new changes are and what they mean and when they're happening and what you can expect and how you might prepare for them. So there are 3 major things that are going to change to the different video series. So one of those changes is we're going to introduce new series. So stuff that might not even appeared on the channel ever before, or something that we did in the past and then we didn't do for some reason, they might introduce back onto the channel. The second thing is that we're going to update the visual styles of the videos. Not all videos might get an update, but most of them are going to change in some regard to either make them more appealing or make them more easier to understand, or just help me to convey a story in a more easier manner for you to understand. And in just some regard is just to make them more fancy and more entertaining to watch. And the third and final part of them is just the concrete content of the video themselves and how they are structured. So we're gonna change the base structure of set videos. And one of those major ones is of course the deck spotlight. As I talked about in the video last month where we're gonna change deck profiles into spotlights, I talked about we're gonna change the focus as well as the content. But with the current spotlights we already did on the channel for My Glorious Justice and the Heroic Evolution, you might have noticed that yes, the focus on the videos is a little bit different, but it's basically a deck profile, but then explained a little bit differently. Now with the upcoming deck spotlights, that's also going to change, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit later. So those are the 3 major changes that are going to happen to the channel in general. So let's talk about the different videos types and as well as what they're going to change in the future. So to explain a little bit better how these videos are going to work, we have 2 types of video series on the channel. We have set videos and just random generic videos. The set videos are basically videos that are revolving around a set. So once a new set drops in the OCG, we're going to talk about all kinds of aspects of that set. And a good example of that is the set reviews. Every time when a new set hits, we're going to talk about the set reviews of that set. And we're going to do deck spotlights for that set. So those are set videos. So every time a new set drops, you can expect those specific videos for each and every single set. And then we have generic videos, and those are basically not dictated once a set drops. So let's start off with the set videos, and the first one, that's very obvious, we've got the set reviews. These are your typical set reviews where I'm going to talk about each and every individual clan and all the cards they got in that clan and rate them and talk about what you can do with them, how good they are, and all that kind of jazz. Currently, we have no real plans to change those videos in any type of way. The visuals might be a little bit tweaked here and there, but overall, you can expect them to be the same as they always been. We might do that in the future, but we've got no plans as of now. Then next up, we've got a new series, or a series that I did 1 or 2 videos on, and that is set breakdowns. However, this is going to be a little bit different than a previous set breakdown that I did for some sets, because in this video we're going to talk about the set in general and talk about what were the clan distributions, so what cards were given to which clans, what is the distribution between the percentage of set rarities, that kind of stuff, what was the main focus of each and every clan. But also in that video I'm gonna highlight which of the new spotlights are going to come to the channel. So if you're interested in knowing, oh, is he gonna do a spotlight for Silverthorns, is he gonna do a spotlight for Heroes, is he gonna do a spotlight for X or I clan, then you can see that in the set breakdowns as I explain these are the spotlights we're gonna do for this set. So you can expect them for the upcoming weeks. So that set breakdown is a overview of that specific set, what you can expect, what's the main focus of that set, and it's also an introduction to what's going to happen on the channel concerning that set once that set drops for the OCG. Then the third one for the set videos, we've got deck spotlights. So these are basically the new type of deck profiles. However, we're going to change them very drastically after this point. So for Aerial Steed Liberation, don't expect the same deck spotlights we had for the Heroic Evolution and My Glorious Justice. What I mean with that is, yes, the focus is going to be the same. So we're going to focus around the new build with the new VR. But now we're going to do it on a more grandiose scale, as instead of me giving you a list and then explain how you can use that list and all about the nooks and crannies of all the different tactics, I'm going to do that for the VR tactic. And what I mean with that is I'm going to explain what the VR does, what its strengths are, what its weaknesses are, and I'm going to explain all the different supporting cards or tactic cards that you can use and how you can incorporate with the different strategies. And then when that's all and done, I'm going to showcase a couple of lists. So not just one generic list, I'm going to show you a list with a different strategy approach. So we might have one that's more on the defensive side. We might have one more on the aggressive side. We might have one that's more on a control focus or on a resource focus. So that gives me a more option to talk about all the different aspects of that set strategy that's now going to incorporate it with each new individual set, instead of just showcasing one list and explain how that list works and then give you some options to change the list. Now it's around, all right, we've got a new VR with a new strategy. How do we use that strategy? How can I learn you to play that strategy the most effectively? And then I give you all the options of building that strategy. And that can be that in some video you might get 1 or 2 lists. But in other videos where you got a lot of options, I might give you 4, 5, 6 different lists depending on how different those strategies are. So there is a more focus on the new VR card than just a new deck. And then lastly, a new addition to the set videos is budget decks. Because now, with all the new sets coming out and each more VRs and all that kind of stuff, decks are gonna get more expensive the more and more sets come out. So with that, I'm gonna introduce a budget deck video for each and every set. And instead of doing a budget deck video for Pale Moon and Dark Regulars and for Shadow Paladin, what I'm gonna do is I make a budget video for set. So in one video, I'm gonna talk about a budget variant for all clans in that specific set. And I don't know the rules that I'm going to set up right now, but I'm going to make a certain rule aspect of what kind of rarity I'm going to incorporate, what's the max expensive type of cards. And the main focus about those videos is you want to play a clan, but you just start playing and you don't want to spend more than 40-50 bucks, then watch those videos and you might have a very interesting list. Not all budget decks are going to be a very viable deck. It's just about you can play with the new card. And those were the set videos. Besides those, we still got some extra leftover videos. And first off, very obvious, we got the Cardfight update video. And they're going to change in the visuals, as they are very similar to what we've got with discussion videos as well as with the set reviews in terms of how things showcase in the video itself when the cards pop up. I believe they're from this side, as you now see with the actual list of videos. So this is going to change. This is going to go away for Cardfight updates, this region. It's going to be a new type of animation and a new type of visuals, but you're going to see that once those visuals hit with the future videos for Cardfight updates. So I'm going to make them more understandable, and also because Cardfight update usually tends to reveal new cards with new effects, I'm also try to make more easier to understand visuals once a new effect is revealed, so you can see immediately how those cards work, and it will remove any type of questions or error that might come up when discussing set new card. Then I also want to introduce a new old type of series, and that also basically incorporates what I just talked about with the Cardfight update with the effects for new cards, and that is rulings and interactions. Old viewers might already know about this video series that I did. I did, believe, 2 or 3 videos in the past at the beginning of the channel. And basically what they are is you ask questions about rulings of certain cards or interactions that you might have questions about or are confusing. And I just answer them so everybody can understand all these crazy interactions. And the reason why I want to bring it back is because now with cards like Gancelot, rules and skills are starting to become a little bit more complicated and more interesting, and also might confuse a lot of people with how standard is evolving. So I think it's the right time to bring that type of series back on the channel so I can explain all kinds of questions you might have concerning interactions between said cards. So with that, I want to ask you if you have any type of question and something you might is boggling on your mind and you want to have answered, leave them down in the comments down below and I might feature them in the upcoming first episode of Ruling and Interactions. And if I don't get them in the first video, I might get them in the second and the one after that. So if you have anything that you want to be featured onto that video, leave them in the comments down below and I might get to them as fast as possible. Then with that, I also want to talk about a video that's coming to the channel, but not as soon as you might expect, because we are working our ass off to make these as awesome as possible. And I'm talking about Cardfight videos. So let's play videos basically, but we're gonna do it with a twist, but I'm not gonna spoil you too much, but expect them to come back, as we did feature them on the channel and they looked, we had a different kind of interface so you can see all the types of damage and soul and hand size and all that kind of stuff, so it was easier to track what's happening in the video. And we want to bring that up to 11 and basically evolve it to the next level. And we are working our butts off. My animator is going crazy with all the visuals that you need to make, and it does take some time, but once those are out, and I hope before the end of the year, you can enjoy new fight videos on the channel as well. And lastly, with fight videos, there's also something that I want to introduce, and those are tutorial series. This is basically the main reason why I started the channel, and ironically, I haven't made any. 1 year of videos, I have made 240 videos and still didn't make any tutorials. But the reason for that is because I want to make them right. And to do that, I needed a lot of visual work and a lot of experience in editing and all that kind of stuff. And we are almost there. Just like fight videos, we are working our butts off to make those as best as possible. And I hope we can expect them just like fight videos before the end of the year. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening on the channel. There was a big list, as you can see, with all type of videos that we're gonna do. But the main thing that I want to explain is we are working our butts off right now to make all these visuals happen. And what you're gonna see with the upcoming Aerial Seed of Liberation, as those videos are gonna roll out this week with the set reviews, the visuals might not change right now. And what you're gonna see probably in the first couple of weeks is that some videos, the content of the videos will change. So the deck spotlights for Aerial Steed Liberation will take shape of the new deck spotlights that I just explained. So those will be changed. However, the visuals are still in a work in progress. So and nothing will gonna look like when we are done. And we're betting on maybe next month or the month after that. So either with Phantasmal Steed Restoration or with the Spike Brothers, Tachikaze and Mega Conley set, will we start using the new format with all the new visuals. And you might ask, how do I know when these new visuals will be live? Well, believe me, when those visuals are done and when we enter basically season 2 of Cardfight Insider, you're gonna be noticed with that and you immediately will see the change, because there's gonna be a change that you cannot miss basically. So that's basically everything that I want to talk about this video. There's gonna be a lot of changes to the channel, either with new video series as well as new content with the new visuals and new focus. But basically, if you enjoyed the videos that we're doing right now, don't worry, it's basically the same but upgraded. So you can see it as we started off as a grade 0 last year. We are 1 year later and we're gonna upgrade to grade 1. And after saying that, that basically forces me to make 2 to 3 significant changes in the future. Yeah, shouldn't have used that example. But that's basically everything for me today. If you are excited or just curious of what's going to happen, you can leave me any type of question down below and I might answer them in the meantime. But also, if you have questions for ruling and interaction, leave them down below and explain that it's a ruling question, but probably when I see that is a ruling question, then I know that is for that video. Leave them down below and let's have a fun discussion while we're at it, because it's all in fun and we're just trying to have a good time. And while we're doing it, I'm enjoying all this stuff that I'm making for you guys. And even though my animator hasn't seen the sunlight in the last 3 to 4 months, and he has to wait two more months to see the sunlight if he is fast enough, but even he is enjoying this. So it's a discussion going, and yeah, I'm curious what you guys think of all the changes that I discussed in this video. As always, I want to thank my Patreon supporters, because of course without them this wasn't even possible to do this, but also you guys for watching, sharing, liking and commenting on the videos. I just really appreciate you guys for what you're doing for the channel, and without you, this wasn't even possible. So thank you for that. I'm really thank you for that. But with that said, I'm Mr. Time Leap, and I see you guys in the next one.